Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Also, disclaimer before I go on, I am a little bit sick. So if you hear a little bit of like scratchy noise or mucusy, or I cough or I sneeze, please excuse me. I am like getting over a cold. So, Happy New Year. I know it's been a while since we talked like this. I hope everyone's new year has been off to a good start, but if not, I'm here to tell you it's okay. I don't necessarily follow astrology. I do believe in it, but I'm not going to say I like am tracking everything all the time. When I do sort of peep into astrology, I like to think of it as like the weather like weather channel, like what to sort of expect, what energies in the air, what am I going to be more prone to based on where we are astrologically. And I've been hearing all this talk about how 2025 was the year of the snake, 2026 is the year of the horse. But someone was telling me recently that the year of the snake, I think, continues into January and maybe February. I can't remember if Feb is part of it or not. But yeah, that helped me feel so much better because, not gonna lie, this year has been off to a bit of a rough start. Um, I and I came to this realization yesterday as I was driving somewhere that I think I've become one of those people who actually likes obstacles and likes hardship, because it just has become more and more clear to me that we are not forged by like by ease. We are not forged in times of comfort. I feel like all of us are like the phoenix birds rising from the ashes, but we all have to experience shit burning down over and over and over again, as unpleasant as that seems and sounds, in order to actually rise up stronger and in order to actually become who we were always supposed to be. I am not going to say that going through these obstacles or hardships is fun or in any ways I look forward to it, but I do think having this more positive attitude towards hard things that happen in my life is what helps me like get through it stronger. It's like if something happens to you, like if I get a paper cut, I might be like, "Ah, fuck, like I got a paper cut that hurts." But if I knew that that paper cut was going to make me stronger or was going to strengthen that part of my finger, so I never got a paper cut there ever again, as an example, I feel like I would take that paper cut as like, "Oh, that sucks, but thank you for that lesson. Thank you for the stronger Ashna you were making me, you know?" And something that I was actually talking to one of my friends a little while ago, and we were both just like, things just seem so hard. Like, why do things have to be so hard? And she told me that one thing that she does, first of all, words are so powerful. I have heard this many, many, many a time. I have spoken about this in the past as well, in a past video. But she told me that instead of saying that things are hard to herself or to other people, she just goes, things are challenging. Because what is like when I hear the word hard, it kind of seems like there's a wall up, right? And I say hard and I ram into that wall and there's nowhere else I can go. It's a hard thing. I ram into the wall. But challenge sounds like, oh, a challenge is something that's there for me to overcome. A challenge is not a wall. It's a hump in the road. It's a mountain. It might be a big mountain. It might take some time to get over it, but it's possible because it's a challenge. So I feel like reframing in my brain a lot of things as hard, well, reframing from hard to challenging actually has helped me a lot. Okay, this was my little foundational warm up. And now I want to give you an example of something that happened to me last week where I literally, not literally, but like emotionally thought I was going to die. Like I literally felt like I was dying. So basically, late last year, I hired this social media team to help me with content and manage my business Instagram, Naturally Grounded Instagram, for a month. We have been running into some issues. We think very differently. I think there were a lot of things that were not made clear prior to us working together. And I also just think we have very different working styles. Um, And as like resentful and annoyed as I am, this is going to happen. Like this happens in life, right? Like you'll meet someone and you're kind of like, you're cool, but I could never work with you. How many of you have friends like that? I definitely do. Like I have friends who sometimes are like, we should do something together. And I'm like, yeah, like professionally or business wise, I'm like, I think we would never be friends again if we worked together. So no. But anyways, it's not like a new thing. But last week is when a lot of these issues sort of came to a head. And I felt like the person I'm working with was really upset with me and mad at me. And we just could not come to a consensus. And I was getting really frustrated because I was trying really hard to communicate and be clear. And it felt like I kept saying the wrong thing and everything this other person said was the wrong thing. And it literally just felt like we were butting our heads up against the wall. And I was so upset because I was like, I literally paid you a lot of money to make my life easier, but what you're doing is stressing me the fuck out. Like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I had in mind. And I was kind of like, I felt very intuitively led to signing up with them, with this team. So I was kind of like, where did I go wrong? So not only am I spiraling about all these logical things that make sense, but on a nervous system level, like something I've always struggled with that goes back to my childhood is feeling the weight of everyone's anger and upsetness, especially with me. Not only am I very sensitive to feeling other people's emotions, but whenever anyone has been mad at me, I have a lot of people pleasing tendencies. I have had like in my family has, and I've seen a lot of this over the years, and I've like internalized it and made it mine. And something that's been part of my journey over the last couple of years is not only getting away from people pleasing, but having to be okay with the fact that sometimes people are going to be mad at me and it's not my fault. Sometimes I can do everything in my power to make people love me or like me. I also have a thing with wanting everyone to love me, but like they're just not going to like me and I have to accept that. That is something I thought I had accepted. Another big issue of mine since childhood, like not issue, I'm going to say like limiting belief or like trauma response. That sounds like a very heavy word, but just like I've had this need that people need to understand me, that if only people understood me, they would know where I was coming from, they would know I was a good person, they would love me, they would like me. So last week when I was feeling like this other person was really upset at me, it was killing me. I thought I had worked through that. Clearly, I had not. The other thing is when I kept trying to explain myself and be super clear and like send voice notes and texts and emails and WhatsApps, like there was a lot of communication going on everywhere. Like I was also, a part of me was dying because I'm like, this person doesn't understand me. Like this person we cannot communicate. But at a deeper level, what if I'm doing everything in my power to be kind, to be polite, to get this person to like me, to get this person to understand me, to communicate with love? And what if this person just doesn't like me? Like what does that mean? What does that say about me? If one person doesn't like me, it's like, oh my gosh, like my world was collapsing. And I know saying it out loud, maybe it doesn't sound as intense, but guys, last week, I literally felt like my nervous system was like I felt like I was under attack. Like I remember like doing some chores around the house, like mulling over all of this in my head, and my insides were trembling. Like I was literally trembling. And I think like on a side note, last week has really given me an appreciation for people because like you do something small. And like one time I remember my friend came to my wedding and she had texted me or tried to call me because I had texted her about not finding her envelope, like her, like her gift envelope. And I was like, hey girl, like you're just not the type. I know you always give cards. I just want to make sure I didn't lose it. It's okay if you didn't give anything. I just want to make sure I didn't lose it. And then she like tries to text me, tries to call me, and I'm like in the middle of a lot of family stuff because we had a lot of family stay in town after our wedding. And then she's kind of like, she starts panicking and she's like, oh my gosh, like, are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? And I was kind of like, girl, like, I'm not mad at you. Like, I just been busy, so I haven't been able to call you. And anyways, the story was that it's in the mail. Like, she was mailing it out. And I remember being like, why are you so upset, girl? Like, you need to like have more trust in yourself. Me on my high horse, like, you shouldn't stress about stuff like this. So yeah, I think I just have like appreciation for you never know what someone is going to take, how and how much, or in what way it's going to impact them. Like, I could do something that I think is so minor, like, canceling a plan last minute with a friend, and my friend or this person could go into a freaking spiral. And I'd be over here like, you really need to learn, like, to love yourself more. You know what I mean? Like, we all like to be on our high horse, including myself, but you just never know what is going to trigger what in a person. So I think I just have a lot more sympathy and like appreciation for, like, if someone's freaking out and I think it makes no sense, it's not my place to be on my high horse, but just to come with love and understanding and try to understand where they're coming from and how I can be of support to them. But anyways, so all this stuff happened last week, and like, we're still working together. So I still feel like there's some friction in my heart. Like, even yesterday, I got a little upset. And I just have been like, man, like, there's been so many obstacles that have been popping up this year. I just had my birthday on January 4th. I just turned 30. I'm so looking forward to it. And I have this like really big knowing in my heart that this year is going to be big for me. Like, I'm going to do big things. I'm going to like achieve so many of the things that have felt like a dream. And I know that's going to happen. I even went to this like vision and strategy workshop yesterday at this place called Creative Collective here in Austin, and we did this future self meditation. And the future self was from the end of this year, and what she showed me is what I know. Like, I know this year is going to be huge, and I think I've been so overly focused on like, this year is going to be so big. I'm going to accomplish all these great things, and so things are only going to be great. But like, the obstacles are part of that vision. And it's like I was saying before, like, our obstacles, our hardships, things that stress us out, whether they're as minute as like stubbing our toe, or as big as like what happened to me last week, as like my nervous system feeling under attack because all of these young parts of me are coming to the surface, and all these parts of me that I didn't even know still existed in me are like being challenged. Like, oh my gosh, I totally just lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh yeah, all these obstacles are what are building my character. And not only building my character and making me more into who I need to be, like, it's who I need to be to accomplish those things that I want to accomplish. Like, something that like was coming up for me as well is like this whole thing about the year of the snake, right? Snakes shed their skin. And I know for me last year was really tough, and it was a lot about shedding these ways of doing, ways of being, shedding these limiting beliefs, letting go of things that didn't serve me, relationships that didn't serve me. I've talked a lot about being lonely. Like, I feel like the people I call friend now are so like, the like, the proverbial address book is so different than what it was last year. And I think like what I'm seeing is the last bits of the shedding, because I thought that I had worked through being upset when people get mad at me. I thought, because there have been some instances where someone says something and I'm like, wow, old Ashna totally would have had a crash out over this. New Ashna is like, whatever, not everyone's gonna like me in life. Like, like, I've made it now. I've worked through all this shit. But last week really brought to light that there's so much of like the way my therapist used to, I love my old therapist, used to explain it to me, is she used to say there's like layers to everything. And she was almost like, she used to draw the layers like a tube of like liquid. So she's like, imagine there's all this liquid. Hopefully this makes sense. There's like one tube. There's all this liquid in the first tube. Imagine you work through all of that, right? Now the first tube's gone. And now you're like, okay, I'm free and clear. But there's all these other tubes of liquid under the surface. So I think what had happened is I had worked through a couple of these tubes on the surface. But yeah, last week showed me that there is so much more that I have to work through. And even now, like, I still struggle with feeling like I don't want to open this person's messages or emails because I'm nervous around like what could be said, what is going to make me feel bad, what's going to make me feel small, when I feel like all I'm trying to do is like honor my end of the business, honor my end of the deal. I'm trying to make sure that I'm happy with what gets put out there, what gets put on social media, what gets put out under my name. And I'm like, I still am struggling to like, feel confident in reading these messages. But like, this fear of like, everyone has to like me, everyone has to love me, everyone has to understand where I'm coming from. I cannot take these fears and these limiting beliefs into future Ashna. Future Ashna is not going to change the world the way she knows she is meant to, like the way she knows she was created to, if she's afraid of offending people. So it's like, not gonna lie, like last week sucked. Like, but by now I have learned a lot of like ways to manage my stress, manage my nervous system. I was trying to take naps, or at least lay down and like close my eyes and go into like a doze state. I was doing my breathing exercises. I at one point called my cousin because she works in the field, and I was just like, can you validate me? Like, can you tell me I'm not crazy? And she was like, girl, you're not crazy. So it's like my husband was there to help me. What else did I do? Just like taking shower, or for me showers are huge. When I find that I'm really struggling with a lot, I'll like take a shower, I'll wash my hair, I'll like go through the whole thing, scrub my body, like go through a whole little self-care sesh, like drinking tea, taking breaks. Like, obviously my nervous system was still fried, and I still ended the week fried, but I was trying really hard to use my tools to manage. So what's something like a couple years ago would have like knocked me out for a long time, didn't knock me out that long. I did get sick. I fully think I got sick because of it, but like my sickness hasn't been awful. It's been like mild cold. Um so what I was thinking about yesterday is like, I actually don't hate my obstacles. And I'm like, I sound like that crazy person who's like, welcome to challenges. And like, I never thought I would say things like this. I literally sound like a psycho to me. But like, I fully can see how I need to go through this hardship. I need to go through this challenging time right now, because like future Ashna, like I cannot have this be a problem for me in the future. So obviously the universe, my higher self, the world is going to give me a challenge that's going to knock me off my feet, that's going to force me to confront all these parts of me that I didn't even realize were there. It's going to force me to bring these parts to the surface, acknowledge them, process them, work through them, love them, and integrate them so they no longer serve as a barrier for me. I find that the things that like surprise us the most, right? Like me having these parts that were like afraid of angering other people, or like can't deal with people being mad at her still. The reason that they come up in challenges most of the time this hard, fast, and strong is because I don't know they're there. And I think that's true for a lot of us. The reason that like our reactions take us out of surprise, or take us by surprise, or we do something in an unexpected way, it's because we didn't even know we had that living in us, living in our bodies. And you need hardships to kind of like shock your system to bring all these parts to the surface, so then we can do our job of seeing it, processing it, feeling it, moving through it, and working through it, and like integrating it so it's no longer an issue. Like, I think I might always like, on some level, I might always feel a little hesitant when someone is mad at me. But the difference is it going to take me out and debilitate me like it did last week? Like, is it going to make me tremble? Or is it going to be more of a passing, like, that really sucks, that hurts. I wish everyone could like me, but I know not everyone's going to love me, and there's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is show up in the world with love, walk in the world with love, walk in the world with intention, and do my best to be clear, show up the way I want other people to show up for me. And like, that is my job. So, am I someone who cheerleads obstacles and is like, bring them on? No. But I am someone who likes to look at these things and likes to look at obstacles and hardships and kind of be like, okay, what lesson are you teaching me? What are you like, how are you forcing me to be bigger or brighter, or like be a different version of myself? Because like I said before, we are not forged in times of calm. We don't learn who we are when everything's dandy and everything's fine and life is like lugging along. We find out who we are when we're faced with things we never thought we would be faced with, when we're faced with things that we feel are really hard. And then we get through them and we're like, oh shit, that made me so strong. Like, I think I've reached a point, if you've been following along with me, you'll know that I went through a miscarriage last year, which was really, really, really tough. But today I've reached a point that miscarriage showed me so many things about myself. It forced me to confront all these like hidden parts of myself that I didn't even know existed. And I'm a whole new person. Like my outlook on life has changed. My how I believe in myself has changed. I now know that I'm here to do so many great and wonderful things. And Ashna, who was trying to get pregnant, didn't know that. Ashna was trying to get pregnant, thought the best thing she would do is have children. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I still want babies. Babies are going to be like, yeah, they're going to be such a beautiful addition to my life. And they are going to be one of the best things that I do in this lifetime. But I know that I'm here to change the world. And I never would have realized that if I hadn't gone through that miscarriage. And obviously, it's easy to look back at things, but the attitude I'm trying to have is when something hard comes up, like when I tell myself this is happening for a reason, this is going to make you a bigger person, this is going to make you a better person, this is going to put you more on path to where you're supposed to be. You just got to breathe. You just got to move through this obstacle, just got to move through this challenge, move through this hardship. It actually makes me see the hardship in a different light, right? And it makes me feel less hopeless and more hopeful that this is all happening for a reason. And I know once I get through this, it's going to be tough getting through this, and I fully have sympathy for myself and for anyone else going through hard, challenging times and challenging things. But you're going to become even like, you're just going to become even brighter than who you were before that obstacle. So I think this is something that a lot of us can benefit from hearing and learning about, like having this attitude towards challenging situations in our life. um And like another quick example that I feel like might be helpful is I started martial arts in November. And I've talked about this before, how I was like really nervous to go into each class because it's hard. And even now, sometimes I will feel a little bit of hesitation because just some of the people in this class are so good. But and I was talking to my friend a little while ago. I'm like, why is my hobby, something I'm doing for fun, so challenging? But something that I have noticed is like, when I walk into a class feeling like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Like, how did I think I could be good at this? And I get through the class and I survive and I learn new skill sets, or I end up like, working really well with my partner or making the punches, or I get a compliment from my partner or my teacher. Like, I feel on top of the world. I walk out of that class knowing I can do hard things, like seeing how my body's been changing, how my confidence has been increasing, how I'm like making friends now. Like, I used to be too timid to talk to people in class because I was like, all of y'all are so good. You're so strong. Like, who am I, this little new girl? But like, I like getting through this challenge, like making my way over this hill has been like done wonders for my confidence, wonders. And that's sort of the approach that I am taking in life. And that's the approach that I wanted to share with you. So, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, that was helpful for you guys. As always, please reach out if you have any comments, questions. Excuse me. I would love to hear from you I would love to hear from you on how this has landed and how the year, like this idea of the year of the snake and you're shedding your skin. I don't know much about the year of the horse, but I've heard very good things. So I'm very excited for like, you know, to shed the skin and like move forward. Like, I am also obsessed with horses. I fully think in a past life, I don't know, had some like affinity to horses. I like owned horses. I worked with horses because my dream in this life is really to have a horse. And like, honestly, before even I have a horse, I want to take horse riding lessons, but it just hasn't felt right yet. But one day it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But anyways, really excited for just like a different season. Obviously it's great to shed, but it's even cooler to use like this, walk in the world as this new version of you. Which I mean, obviously I'm doing as well, but I feel like the year of the horse is supposed to be different. But anyways, hope you all have a good rest of your day, night, week, month. Not yet. Not yet. But yeah. Okay. Bye.